Have you ever just felt lost when you're writing your book? You doubt if it's good enough. You don't know what comes next. You just feel as if you're stuck in a labyrinth that you started for yourself and you get so confused. Well, today I want to talk about a tool I created that I've linked down below. It's absolutely free. Just sign up at the link below and it will be sent to your email. But this is the plot table. And this is a practice that I've done for years, and it brings so much clarity to clients when they can break down the plot as a whole, just really simply on of the front and back of a page. I've made the boxes a little big so you have plenty of room to brainstorm, and then all of the definitions and the prompts are on here too. And this is easiest to examine when you can just sit down with it physically. And so I'm going to give you a little introduction to it, but rather than go into all the details here, sit down, take a look. All of the information is there in the link, along with some extra prompts to get you going in case there's something missing. So there are so many advantages to being able to see the book, just map it out as a whole on a tool like this. And that is because if you ever feel lost, of course, if you know the ending of the book, you can start in different places in the book and then you can write your way into that. So you don't have to be stuck in the next chronological moment. You can really just fill the book out with where you have the most inspiration and the most clarity at any given time. And let me tell you, I have created this to work for fiction and nonfiction. So when you get the plot table, I've also created a couple of examples because really it's the easiest to understand when you can see how it works on a fully developed work. And so for the fiction example, I chose The Hunger Games because it's the first book of the series, The Hunger Games. So it's broken into 3 parts and it has both an action story and a love story. You'll see in the plot table, I created an A plot and a B plot. And so that makes sure that you're addressing both of the arcs of a story. And then for the nonfiction book, the self-help book, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. That has 12 chapters. When you look at it, you can break down those 12 chapters into major acts. And so what's the A plot and the B plot for a nonfiction book? It's simply when you think if you might have an A reader, if you only have an A reader, that's fine. The main reader, the main person you're writing this book for. If you also have a B reader, then you want to make sure you address that. So in the case of The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, a wonderful book, her A reader is a writer. That's the particular art form that she has the most experience with. And so throughout the book, she's really addressing that first and foremost because it's where she has done the most work. However, she's also written music. She was once married to a very famous television director. And so she's also created it as a B reader for any other kind of creative project that you're taking on. And so when you break it down, I've given the examples of Hunger Games and The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. And really, if you've never worked with a plot structure before, there are so many out there. Save the Cat, Hero's Journey. There's also the Story Grid, which was what I have used a lot in the past. And this I've kind of, after studying those so many times, I've really broken this down into something a little bit more simple because I've noticed that sometimes when you're trying to follow a structure such as the hero's journey where it's like, okay, now we need the mentor or whatever it might be. That's great, but it doesn't guarantee that you're going to have the most impact that you can possibly have in every single act. And so I've created this structure to take the best of all these worlds and really, rather than having details that might work, that might not work for your particular project, I've brought it down to make sure that you're hitting the climax with the most tension and the most emotion as possible. And so I've really developed on this because the things you need are actually quite simple and universal for both fiction and nonfiction. One of the things that I wanted to be sure to include in this plot table was stakes and significance. You know, when you're writing fiction, what's at stake? Is it being alone, falling in love? Is it life or death stakes? If you're writing self-help, what is the pain point or the problem that you identify with and you know people want to move forward with? They want to make progress in their lives. So the stakes are very important, and also the significance. What does it mean in self-help if I'm able to have a better sex life, lose the weight, find true love? If I'm in fiction, survive the Hunger Games that are looming before me, survive the ship sinking when I'm watching the Titanic. And so when you're able to dive into this and just see it all on one page, you get the clarity you need. So rather than going into the details now, I'm going to send you to the link below so you can look at it. If you're already on my email list, you have all these resources in your email. And a final fun thing I love to do with plot tables like this is if I'm watching a movie or reading a book in a genre that I really want to learn about, I break down other books. And so I will take this along with me, and the movie will just open up in whole new ways. It's like doing a fun little crossword puzzle to make sure that you're hitting all the boxes and really understanding the architecture and the geometry of emotion and why stories, why books move us into action. So that is what we're doing. I hope you take some time for your book this weekend. Everything you need is in the link below. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Every single Friday, I put out a new video to help you with your book. So be sure and subscribe to the channel because I am here for you. Bye for now.